Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Scrap Your Scraps Thursday night. September is my birthday month. So I went through my pre-cut ATC cards and I got some funky, fun, very active backgrounds. As you know, if you've been following me, I do have a container that holds ATC backgrounds, and it could be anything from paper to stickers to my gel plate prints or leftover bits and bobs all put together. I have done some woven backgrounds in there, and they all sit there all ready to go, and so it makes my life easier when it's time to do an ATC card or a bunch of ATC cards. I just whip through and pull out the backgrounds that I want to use. And if you're interested in how I stored that, you can look at a previous one of the many previous ATC videos that I've done. So today we are going to do September, and September to me it's my birthday month. So the challenge was to create birthday inspired backgrounds, and I found that I had been to a recent crop and I left behind, or someone accidentally picked up all my birthday stuff. So I am going to be making from scratch today. I've decided I'm going to use a little bit of this heart washi just to break some of the pattern because it is wild. And I'm going to use my little mini sidekick because I have a couple of ideas for birthday. One of them is this cute little die that came out of my Spellbinders Advent Calendar for 2023. So he's a teeny tiny little turtle who's going to be very cute when he's made up. So that's one thing I'm going to put at least on one. I might put on more. I also have this embossing folder that I got out of the Sizzix minis. This is, I think, came with my sidekick, if I'm not mistaken, and it says happy birthday on it, and it's embossing folder, so I'm going to play with that as well. And that doesn't look like very much, but we'll get started with those first and see if we can add some things in. I do have bits and bobs of things in other containers, which I might pull in at a later date, but I want to get some of this done first. So if you have been following me, following along with me for any length of time, you know I don't throw at anything. So I've got myself some bits and pieces of white cardstock in case I want to do some, well, I think I'm actually going to use this on the cardstock to use for one of or two of the backgrounds. These aren't going to the same person, so I can repeat things as I like them. Also, you may have noticed that, again, I save all my scraps in this little container. Let's see if I can put it on here. It's an old coffee pot holder, and it has little drawers, and it's very easy to just store my smaller strips of things, anything over 6 inches. So I've pulled a bunch of stuff out from my little what is that little guy called? He's a turtle. All right, so let's get started with the turtle. Now, I got my plates, and I've decided that I am going to do black for the eyeball and the string. So if you're looking at here, the eyeball is going to be black and the string is going to be black. So I've got a little piece, like little tiny skinny piece, which will work out just fine. And I'm just going to put that into my little cutter. And you know what? I'm just going to shift this aside. And I think I might make 3 of these. And this, you can stick this down to your countertop so that it doesn't move. That's probably a smart thing to do, but I just, like I said, I have a tendency to just run by the seat of my pants. Okay, so there's that done. Here we go. All right, now I want this to be sparkly, so I've got this sparkly material, and I'm gonna do 3 of these as well. Now for the body, saving the black piece for later, the black and the green piece for later. The body and the head are going to be the same color, and I have this green that I'm going to use for that. These are chunky, so they pretty much need the entire piece of paper. There we go. I try to keep rounded things at the top. Sorry, I'm out of screen. I try to keep rounded things at the top so that it's easier for my die machine to get onto the plate. Oops. Okay, so the body is done. Now, I've got 1 black eyeball, 2 black eyeballs. What happened to my other black eyeball? It's not fun when you lose an eyeball. Okay, so one of my eyeballs is gone, but that's okay. I have black stuff I can use for that. I don't need to cut a whole other eye. Well, why don't I? Okay, I'm putting this aside. I have to get another eyeball. So I'm just going to put the paper in. And I'm just going to take, oh, there's the other eyeball. Always check your die. That's a good thing to do. Okay, so you guys are all done. And you can go there. And we have everything now. Alrighty, back to the plan. So I want a purple balloon. So I'm going to do 3 purple balloons. And this I can do side by side. Okay, so that's the purple. And I want to do his little hat. I want him to have white on the top and purple and yellow on the bottom, but it looks like I'm going to have to cut the whole thing. Normally, I would just put a piece of white here and a piece of yellow there, but it's not an even match. So if this went straight up, I would do it because I have a clean cut between the two, but it's not really going to work. Or will it? Can I make it? No, it's not really going to work because this will get in the way and I can't do 2 colors. So we're putting the purple away. We're going to do 3 of the hats. And then I'll have hats for later, just different color. Now, part of the reason that this isn't sticking is because I'm on a mat. I'm not on a tabletop. So the mat moves and then the pressure gets released. There's the piece I want. Put the yellow away. This goes over there. That goes there. Okay. Now I have a couple of white things I need to do. So I need to do white hats for the pom-pom. I need to do white eyeballs. And I might have to go just a little bigger, which is no problem. Lots of scraps. Now this is thicker paper, so it may cause me a little bit more of a problem. Let's see, we can put these two guys together right there. And I need white for the balloon. All right. During this, I struggled to keep things from shifting around, so I just put a piece of tape to keep them together. Now, I need the eyeball, but I don't need the head. There should be two little pieces. Yeah, the other piece is here, so we're going to pop that out. Very small little piece. Be careful not to lose that. And we don't need this. We need the white part. So we need to poke that out. We don't need the balloon, but we could have the balloon. Dun, dun. No. Well, maybe we will have white balloons. So this is going to be a challenge in patience, but I think I'm up for it. So we're going to move this down here like that. Crossing, flipped it over so that I could fill in as much space as possible. So the first thing I'm going to do is put that away. Because if you don't put that one away, you will end up losing it. And it's a bad thing to lose. Okay, so we're just going to move our little guy off to the side until we need them again. We'll do this one. Oh, happy birthday. Yes, we do. Sorry, we do need it again. So I'm going to now put it in my embossing plate instead of my cutting plate. And flip this over. I am going to get some cardboard and I'm just going to do a couple of happy birthdays. That won't go through. Going to make sure your paper will go through. There we go. And this will be just lining it up. Getting the platform. Putting my plate on there, leaving some space at the top edge. Making sure I have suction. And running that through. And look at that pretty little happy birthday. So now I'm going to do the other end because I have to do 3. And this one is going to go through there. All right, so I'm just going to cut these. And I just need one more. Happy birthday. It this way so I can see what I'm doing. Not going to cover it. Ooh, just barely. Good enough though. All right. Ta-da! Ooh, just barely fits. I could have wasted some paper and done it better, but anyway. So putting away as you go because everything is tiny. Tiny, tiny, tiny. All right, so we are going to create our little characters here. Let's get our eyeballs and everything ready. And the way that I don't need those can go over here. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to put some double-sided tape on the back. These guys are fine, but where the eyeballs have to go, like so. Turn those all over. And now we can pop in our white eyeball. You have to figure out how it lays out. So there's a bit of a pointy end here and here, and I am going to use that as my guide. And it fits perfectly. There we go. There's our eyeballs. So now we want some glue, and we want the eyeballs. We can put the eyeballs anywhere we want, really. Now, wouldn't it be interesting to have the eyeball going in a different direction? So maybe I'm going to move it over here. So we've got our eyes looking in different directions, which makes them unique. And we are just going to put a tip of glue here, and we are going to place the body on top. And again, we can change the direction of how his neck is going. I think that's just a little too, whoops. There we go. And this guy is going to be looking up. So we have our guys looking in different directions at different things. There we go. Okay, perfect for the turtles. And then all we have to do is add the glitter, this guy. And you don't have to put a lot of glue on, just enough to make sure it stays. And this is going to fit in this spot, like that. So I encourage you to play with your dies and make them all unique. Alrighty, there's our turtle. Turtle is finished. Now, here's the challenge. We are going to, again, put double-sided tape on the back. We don't have to put that much, just enough to cover the spots. And wherever I've gone over, I'll just trim that off afterwards. There we go. This way. All right. And again, we're going to pick up our purple piece and stick it where it belongs. I lost one of my little purple things because I was not being careful. So I'll fill that in with maybe an ink color. So that's done. I just realized I only have 3 of these, so maybe I'll leave those for later. All right, and there's our balloons. And then the last thing we have is our yellow hats. And we're going to stick a bit of glue here and here, here and here, here and here. And then we're just going to put this right on top. There we go. There's our little hats. All right. Now I'm going to take a pen, the purple pen, and I'm just going to go over Okay. Then I'm going to trim it out. And I just go over the edges one more time so that no white is showing. And that is done. So that's one done. Whoop, and I'm noticing a little bit of white there. All right. So now we're going to spread these out. I always envisioned that to be on the side. This, I like it dark coming from the top down. That was fine that way. So these are my orientations. And let's see. That goes really well on that one. That goes on that one. That goes on that one. That goes on that one. And we have a couple more of these to do. All right, so I've got everything trimmed out. Just got to do a couple of things for the turtles. Want to make sure that I've trimmed off any overhang of that two-sided tape on the back. And then we've got to figure out how the balloons are going to go together, which I believe they're just going to get stuck on the end there. So let's trim these things just a little bit. I can see some of the double-sided coming out. All right, so we are going to put a dab of glue right there. And we are going to stick the balloon right to the end. So it's coming out of the center of that little pocket that the balloon has. There we go. All right. Oop. I just noticed he needs a trim. And these guys are okay. All right. Now, do I want to add some sparkle to the background? I think I do. Okay, so I found myself this little star template, which I think is awesome. And I'm just going to put it diagonally, and I'm going to just take a quick little swipe with my spatula. Make sure I get what's on there. And this is clear sparkle paste. Whoops. So I want to just, I'm not putting it on thick, don't need to have it thick, just need to have a layer to give it some sparkle. And let's just clean off the surface. There we go. Oops. Making a nice mess. And I'm just going to pull this off of the background. So I think this one is a bit too thick. It's going to dry clear. So I'm just going to put it to the side. And now this one, I'm just going to use what I have. Smash it around. Okay, so we're back after drying these off, and as you can see, they are see-through and they have a little bit of sparkle to them, not a great deal. If I put it thicker, of course, they have more sparkle. Thinner, they have less sparkle. Like this one right here is still drying. You can see it's still white, and it's thicker and it has a whole lot more sparkle to it. Anyway, that was fun. So let me figure out that's going to be vertical. Not sure about that one. This one doesn't really matter. So I'll probably put it that way. One of these. So this is kind of what I was thinking. That could be that way. I don't know. 3 vertical, 3 horizontal. And birthday. And I'm thinking, so these guys actually have to be vertical because they need room for the balloons. So those guys have to be vertical. So I think I'll change this one to be vertical. The happy birthday one's not necessary to do so. They're okay the way they are, although I like that one like that. And let's put the... So something like that. Now I did say, whoops, we got to put the little hats on too. All right, so let's put some hats on, because that's important as well. And we're going to have, so there, the hats are a bit curved, as you can see here. And so that curve, the tip of one curve to the tip of the other curve, is where I'm going to actually glue the hat onto the head. So you can see it there. So wherever I put it, I want to make sure this tip and that tip are touching the edge of the head. So now I can show you what I meant by that. So the edges are touching the edge. The tips are touching the edge of the head. All right, so there's our little guy. I'm just going to move these out of the way. Now, I did say that I wanted to run some hearts, and these are vertical hearts. So I'm just going to try it and see if I like it, and if I don't like it, that's fine. So that's what I'm thinking. That's kind of cute. I'm going to pop these guys. So these guys are going to get popped. I don't mind that. So I'm just going to trim off the edges here. And washi is one of those things that can dry out over time. So in that I like my work to be as permanent as possible. For those that collect, I am just going to run a tiny bead of glue here, 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 and here. And I'm just going to push it in and push it up. So push it in and up, push it in and up, and that will just kind of stick it underneath the edge of the washi and help to keep it from lifting. And if it lifts, it won't fly away. It'll stay on there. Alrighty, now pop dots, pop dots. One for our friend's head and his body and his balloon. Now, just going to position him on because I can adjust the balloon any way I want. I think that's cute. So I want to have that under his paw. And I'm just going to lift up his paw, put a dab of glue over the stem of the balloon. And I'm letting that front paw be glued to the balloon. So the stem itself, or the, not stem, the string itself is loose, but it's being held down by the front foot and the balloon. And so that's kind of where we're at. And then I'm going to get a little sentiment just for you. I think I like that actually. So I'm going to take my big scissors. There they are. And I'm going to cut this down a little. I find this is just a little too thin for my guillotine, so I am going to do it by hand, and I see that this is just a bit off. There we go. And it's okay if it's not perfect. Then we have just for you. I'll find out where the scraps went later. There we go. There's one. So let's, do I want to pop that? I probably do. I do like to pop things. So what I have is leftover edges of pop dots, and I like to use those on the back of things because I want to use it all up, and it's perfectly good pop dot material. So there is one finished, but I want a Wink of Stella. Okay, I couldn't find my Wink of Stella, but I found my Spectrum Noir Clear Sparkle. And I'm just going to get it going up there. Alrighty. And I don't want too much though, that's the thing. It's quite liquidy, so you have to move it around. Sometimes I find the first go at it is too liquidy, and maybe we'll sparkle up his hat as well. And you know what else I want to do? I want to put a sparkle in his little white thing there. So I'm going to put just a multicolored sparkle in the center there. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you think about it, there's a lot of work put into this little guy. So there's one. And of course, on the back of this, I will put my ATC thing, which I'll show you at the end. Okay, number 2, let's go. Number 2. And a little dot. Oh, When I clean my room, I always find little tiny dots that went flying. Come on. Ooh, don't stick there. No, no, no. Into the stick there. Yes, I find all kinds of gems all over my floor. There we go. And there's number 2. Cute little things. Moving on to number 3. And there's number 3. And now we're going to work with these guys. So hearts. So even although they've got the same elements on them, I'm doing them very differently. This does not need any sort of additional words, so we're just going to pop this up. And I think I'm going to tuck a balloon behind in there. And this is where I need to put a little bit of color. So I'm going to take one of my pens and just put some color in there. That's not dark enough. All right. Let's try this one. It's a little darker. Okay, so now that's going to be working. Now this I am going to pop dot. So 1, 2, 3. Sometimes when there's quite a bit of debossing on the back, it's hard to get these to stick, so you just want to make sure that they're going to stick okay on your paper. And I have a little balloon poking out there. And we're just going to glue him flat. And I want him to be tucked just under there. And I think I will give him some silver. And I think I'm just going to cover the flower with silver up here. Well, it's not silver, it's clear. There we go. And maybe I'll do the base here. So you just have to touch it. You don't want to go into the inside of the white cardstock. You're just touching the purple. There we go. And there is another one done. Now these are quick and easy, these. I'm actually going to pop dot across the top, but just take a little pop dot. Whoop, across the top. And then I'm going to glue the bottom so it gives it some dimension, like it's poking out from under the cake. stick a little glue. See, this is already coming up, which is interesting. So we're just going to put a little glue there. And a little glue under here. This is why it's important, because, you know, not all washies are created the same. This one is all coming up at the bottom. There we go. So that should be better. And where's my other one? This one will need some glue as well. And now all we have to do is sparkle. Whoops, that's not sparkle. That could have been a disaster. We're just sparkling here, and sometimes if I've spread a little out on the mat, I try to pick that up and use it. There we go. This one is good to go. And one more. Oh, I know what I forgot to do on that other one. Where did it go? Happy birthday, happy birthday. I didn't glitter the flower. There we go. Just gives it that added little sparkle. So you can see the sparkle on the everything there. But I can't glue the bottom just yet because I got to draw the string in. So my pop dot is going to be over here, and that's going to be pressed down, and now I'm going to draw the string with my fine black pen. All right, so this is going to go down and wiggle. So this is the other way. If you don't feel like actually making strings, you can just use your marker to create that string. There we go. And now we can put the dot of glue there. And hold it. There we go. That's the nice thing about quick dry glue is it dries quickly. All right, now we want our sparkle. And there's number 3. So let's see what we have. All right. We have our 3 happy birthdays. And we have our, let's get a nice clear picture of what's going on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, whoops, lost one. There we go. There's our fun little colorful die cuts. Whoops, let me just straighten the camera there a little. Look at those. Aren't they the cutest thing? I like them. And so that is our September ATCs. And please, if you enjoyed this video, share with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to to my channel at the end of the video. And we'll see you next time. Bye now.